For 30 years, it was a ghost in the black budget. On December 2nd, 2022, the nightmare became real, the B-21 Raider. At first glance, it looks like the old B-2. Don't be fooled. This isn't just a bomber. It's a flying data center wrapped in impossible materials, designed to park over Beijing and end a war before the enemy even knows it started. The Pentagon claims it cost $700 million. We think they're lying. We believe this is a cover for technology that renders every radar on Earth obsolete. Turn off your radar. We are going dark to peel back the skin of the most secretive machine in history. The B-2 Spirit was a master of deflection, using its 172-foot wingspan to bounce radar waves away from their source. But the B-21 Raider, it doesn't just deflect radar, it eats it alive. To understand how, you have to look at the numbers. The B-21 is significantly smaller and leaner than its predecessor. While the Spirit had a wingspan of 172 feet, the Raider spans approximately 140 to 150 feet. It has an empty weight of around 70,000 pounds, less than half the B-2's 158,000 pounds. This smaller profile is deliberate. It's harder to see, easier to maintain, and allows the aircraft to use the same hardened shelters as standard fighter wings. But the real magic is in the skin. Conventional stealth uses radar-absorbent material, RAM, that is notoriously fragile, requiring 60 man-hours of maintenance for every single hour in the air. The Raider throws that out the window. It's built with advanced composite structures and a new generation of RAM that isn't just a coating, it's part of the airframe itself. This new adaptive skin utilizes nanostructures that can literally bend electromagnetic waves around the hull, like water flowing around a stone. And then there is the electronic erasure. The B-21 is a flying vacuum for data, equipped with an active electronically scanned array, AESA radar, that features low probability of intercept, LPI. It doesn't just sit there, it listens for incoming enemy radar pings. Before that ping can bounce back, the Raider's processors calculate a negative signal and fire it back, mathematically deleting the aircraft from the enemy's screen. Hiding from radar is only half the battle. Modern missiles track heat and sound. The Raider's two Pratt & Whitney turbofans, likely derivatives of the F-135, are buried deep within the wing, generating an estimated 27,000 lbf of thrust each. The exhaust is directed out over the top of the fuselage through low observability nozzles, shielded from ground-based sensors. This reduces the infrared bloom so effectively that the Raider remains thermally invisible against the freezing high-altitude sky. Here is the front cost data point. The B-2 had a radar cross-section, RCS, of roughly 0.1 square meters, about the size of a large bird. The B-21 is implied to be 2 generations beyond that, with an estimated RCS of 0.01 square meters. That is the size of a golf ball flying at 50,000 feet at speeds of Mach 0.8 plus. It's not just an airplane, it's a hole in the electromagnetic spectrum. The US is currently investing $203 billion over 30 years to ensure this ghost remains the ultimate deterrent. If the B-21 skin was born in a digital universe, before a single bolt was tightened, the Raider had already flown millions of virtual hours in a digital twin environment. This allowed engineers to optimize the design from thousands of digital iterations, ensuring that the version we see today is the most efficient flying wing ever conceived. But the real secret to its dominance is open architecture. Most military jets require massive block upgrades that ground the fleet for years. The B-21 is built like a smartphone. It can download software updates in weeks to integrate weapons that haven't even been invented yet. This intelligence extends to the cockpit. While the B-2 required 2 pilots and massive maintenance crews, the B-21 is designed to eventually fly with a single pilot, or even completely uncrewed. Its onboard AI acts as a digital co-pilot, capable of soaking up terabytes of data from its sensor suite to take evasive action and deploy electronic countermeasures faster than a human could blink. The most terrifying shift, however, is the Collaborative Combat Aircraft, CCA, or the Loyal Wingman. The Air Force isn't just buying 100 B-21s, it is planning to pair them with a massive fleet of at least 1,000 autonomous drones. Consider the math. While a single B-21 costs approximately $692 million, these CCA drones are being designed for affordable mass, with costs targeted at roughly 2/3 less than a crewed fighter. This allows the Raider to act as a quarterback in the sky, directing a swarm of drones to fly miles ahead. These drones act as decoys, jam enemy radar, and identify targets while the Raider remains a ghost in the shadows. The US is currently investing $10 billion in development for the B-21 program through 2026 to finalize this hive mind capability. However, the B-21 Raider is a masterpiece of 21st century engineering. The Pentagon is already treating it as a bridge to something else. In the world of black budgets, if you've already seen the plane, it's already old news. Project Mayhem, the hypersonic ghost. If the B-21 is the ultimate ghost, then Project Mayhem is the ultimate bullet. Stealth is a game of hiding, but in an era of quantum radar and infrared search and track, IRST, hiding might eventually become impossible. The US Air Force's solution? Don't hide. Just outrun the physics of the kill chain. Project Mayhem is the classified development of an uncrewed, air-breathing hypersonic bomber. We aren't just talking about a faster jet. We are talking about a platform designed to cruise at Mach 10, roughly 7,673 miles per hour. To put that into perspective, at Mach 10, the aircraft is moving at 1.8 miles per second. It could cross the Atlantic Ocean from New York to London in just 26 minutes, and it could reach any target on the planet in under 2 hours. The engineering behind this speed is a multi-cycle propulsion miracle. Unlike the B-21, which uses standard high-bypass turbofans, Mayhem utilizes a turbine-based combined cycle (TBCC) engine. It uses a traditional jet turbine to take off from existing runways and accelerate to Mach 3. At that point, the turbine shuts down, and the aircraft transitions to a scramjet, supersonic combustion ramjet. A scramjet has no moving parts. It uses the sheer speed of the vehicle to compress incoming air to flammable pressures, allowing it to maintain hypersonic cruise indefinitely. The physics of Mach 10 are brutal. At these speeds, the air doesn't just flow around the wings, it chemically changes. The airframe must withstand temperatures exceeding 2,000 degrees Celsius, 3,632 degrees Fahrenheit, due to viscous dissipation, hot enough to melt standard aerospace titanium. To solve this, Project Mayhem is being designed using a digital engineering environment, where thousands of virtual prototypes were tested before a single bolt was cast. The Pentagon is moving fast on this gamble. In December 2022, the Air Force Research Laboratory, AFRL, awarded Leidos a contract with a $334 million ceiling to serve as the system design agent. The program is structured over a 51-month timeline, with an initial $24 million task order dedicated specifically to the System Requirements Review, SRR, and Conceptual Design Review, CODR. The goal isn't just a fast plane, it's a mothership for existing munitions. Rather than spending $120 million on a single-use hypersonic missile, Project Mayhem is designed to carry standardized, low-cost conventional bombs and release them at hypersonic speeds. By the time a surface-to-air missile system like the S-400 detects the launch, the bomber has already exited the 150-mile engagement zone before the interceptor can even reach its altitude. Speed isn't just an asset, it's the ultimate defense. NGID, the robot hive. But the US isn't just betting on one big fast plane. They are building a family of systems known as NGAD, Next Generation Air Dominance. This is the death of the Lone Ranger pilot. The centerpiece of this program is the F-47, a 6th-gen fighter designed to work as the B-21's bodyguard. But the real data is in the CCA, Collaborative Combat Aircraft drones. The Air Force is requesting $2.75 billion in FY 2025 alone to build a fleet of at least 1,000 autonomous wingmen. These aren't your typical slow-moving MQ-9 Reapers. These are stealthy, jet-powered drones that fly at Mach 0.9 alongside the B-21. Each drone is projected to cost roughly $25 million to $30 million, about 5% of the cost of a Raider. This allows the US to flood the sky with affordable mass. You don't have to worry about losing a pilot when you have a swarm of 50 disposable robots, overwhelming the enemy's $100 million S-400 missile batteries. China's H-20, the Pacific counter. The US isn't the only one building ghosts. China is currently finalizing the Xi'an H-20, its first true intercontinental strategic stealth bomber, a machine designed to complete Beijing's nuclear triad and break the island chain strategy forever. If you look at the numbers, the H-20 is a direct challenge to American dominance in the Pacific. Analysts estimate the H-20 has a staggering maximum ferry range of 13,000 kilometers, over 8,000 miles, and a combat radius of approximately 5,000 kilometers, 3,100 miles. With in-flight refueling, its reach could theoretically extend to Hawaii or even the US West Coast, but it's the payload capacity where China is truly aiming for mass. While the US B-2 Spirit carries about 20 tons, the H-20 is rumored to have a weapons payload between 30 and 45 tons. This massive internal bay is designed to carry everything from nuclear gravity bombs to the CJ-20 stealth cruise missile, and even next-gen hypersonic weapons. The H-20 is built on a subsonic flying wing design, prioritizing low observability over raw speed. It features serrated engine inlets and blended contours to minimize its radar cross-section, making it China's first invisible long-range threat. Although US intelligence suggests the H-20 may not reach full operational capability until the early 2030s due to engineering challenges, Beijing's manufacturing speed is the real X-factor. Experts predict that China could field a fleet of 50 to 100 H-20s by 2035. In a conflict, this would create a great underwater wall in the sky, a saturation of stealth that could overwhelm US carrier groups and regional bases alike. The Pacific is no longer a US lake. It is a digital battlefield where the B-21 Raider and the H-20 hunt each other in a silence that is louder than any explosion. The era of the lone wolf bomber is ending. The future belongs to the side that can master the system of systems. If you like flying black holes and bombers that could teach your laptop a thing or two, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe and stick around. We're just getting started.